Happy All-Star Weekend, everyone, and welcome, friends. Today, I wanted to talk about something that might not be about All-Star Weekend, even if there were tantalizing dunks. Records broken with the most amount of points in an All-Star game. A lot that went down. There is something that has been circulating, one fact that's been going around making the rounds on the internet, and it is about a former All-Star, so let's get to it. Today, I wanted to discuss something very interesting, and it's interesting to me, at the very least, because it is, I'm just looking it up on my phone right now, an old scouting report from March 2016 on Ben Simmons. That's right, the first pick in the NBA draft 2016. Am I getting that right? I keep mixing it up because I'm not sure if it was, the whole thing with the rookie, his rookie of the year. That was supposed to be Donovan Mitchell's rookie of the year because Ben Simmons wasn't actually playing in his first year, so it got moved up. Anyway, so I'm not really sure exactly when he got drafted. I believe it's 2016, but it was a number one pick in 2016. And there was a scouting report from March of that year by this guy, Jonathan Givony. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Wow, I finally feel the way white people feel when they say, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna butcher your name. I don't know how to pronounce it." Well, I don't know how to pronounce Jonathan Givony, whatever. But let's give him his props because this guy is some kind of prophet. He saw into the future, or he saw what exactly Ben would, manifest into, or what his game would become in the coming years. And here's how it goes. Simmons' lack of competitiveness in crucial games has raised questions about his character. Those who know him best say he needs things to revolve around him on and off the court, and that he's often been close-minded to coaching or instruction. Wow. Close-minded to coaching or instruction. That's something else entirely, I think. Although it might still show itself in how he reacts to negative criticism or constructive criticism. But I think what struck me the most here was those who know him best say he needs things to revolve around him on and off the court. That's a bit crazy to think of because if I just wind back the clock, and when was his first summer league game? It was sometime in 2016 or 2017 when I saw this guy for the first time in a summer league game. I mean, I saw a couple LSU highlights. I didn't really see much from it. You know what's weird? I don't like watching college highlights because I feel like they give me nothing. They give me nothing. I'm like looking at these games. I'm like, okay, he can do that. Sure, he can dunk. Like, it's all a bunch of dunks. It's a bunch of these like crazy like blocks that send the ball to the stands. Like, of course, this isn't what is gonna show up in the actual NBA. Like, no way is he gonna hit a ball like a volleyball and spike it to the stands. Like, that's not how it works. When they're in college, I don't like how it looks because I have no idea how it's gonna translate in the actual league. So when I was watching him, I didn't really know what to make of it. I just knew he was a big body. From the scouting report we have here, 6'10", humongous, 240, 6'10", 240. This guy is a massive unit. A massive unit of a man. 6'10", 240. He just steamrolls through the paint, probably. Can do whatever he wants. Position point guard. We're talking about a big body point guard who can really see things, right? And going back to the summer league, because that was the first time I really was introduced to his game. And I saw him just wow. The first time I saw these, it was highlights. I mean, who really watches a live summer league game? But these highlights were some of the craziest I've ever seen from any draft prospect. I think around Karl Anthony Towns when he was drafted. I think that was in 2015. 2014 and Andrew Wiggins. I think around 2015, Karl Anthony Towns is when I really started getting invested in the draft and seeing, who comes in from the draft, like who are the younger players. Before that, I wasn't really. I guess I was watching basketball more casually, but watching these guys coming out of the draft and seeing how they could make an impact on some of these teams that were drafting them. That's the first time. 2015 was probably the first time I really started caring. So 2016, I was still really fresh, really trying to get into it, and I haven't seen a prospect who was just wowing me this much. The wow factor of these passes, behind the backs, no looks, like across the whole full court passes. Like these passes from Ben Simmons were incredible. And I just saw the way he commanded the floor. He was running everything. Like, that's what I love about. I think I might be giving too much emphasis, or I overvalue assists a little bit, because it's one of my favorite things in the game of basketball. Sure, scoring is fine. It's funny because KD is my favorite player ever, but he's not known for being a guy who makes assists. So scoring is all fine in that, but making an assist just makes the game of basketball look so easy and smooth. And I think like when it's the ability of an assist to really show how the team works together. Maybe it's like the extra pass or just that lead pass to make that easy shot on a fast break. I don't know. They always show me how much I love seeing just people trying to find these passes through little cracks and just like make defenses like crumble because they didn't realize that pass is right there. And that's why I love Nikola Jokic. I love Lonzo. It's a whole other thing too. And that's why Ben Simmons was so exciting to watch. And for years and years and years, people were saying all he needs is a jump shot. We've heard it all before. All he needs is a jump shot, and he's LeBron James, 6'10", 240, court vision, like nobody else. See, he sees everything. He's 6'10". All he needs is a jump shot, and he's LeBron, right? LeBron, anyway, he just beat the record for most scored points in the regular season of all time, and he's not even known to be a scorer, but him breaking that record just goes to show just how great he is as a scorer, but we don't even think of him as a scorer. So the potential for Ben Simmons was just way up there. People were really waiting to see what he could develop into, and seeing him in Philly, when he was finally getting some play, getting some time to play with the team, because his rookie year he missed the whole time. Markelle Fultz then joined them, and we all know how that went. Markelle Fultz, maybe he's a better player than Ben Simmons at this point in Orlando. That's pretty crazy to think about, right? Like if you just rewind the clock, like maybe 5 years, you'd be like, no way would Markelle Fultz be better than Ben Simmons. But anyway, so I was watching them in Philly. I really like that young team. Of course, the core of Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz was still in the mix. We had JJ Redick. They just had some white dudes who could shoot. I forgot who was in there. TJ McConnell. I like TJ McConnell, man. Anyway, there were a lot of good players on that team, and I was really seeing them make a good run in the playoffs for the first time. This is the first time they stopped tanking, and they finally are making use of all these picks, all the draft assets that they've been able to convert into good players. And I was really excited for their future. And there came a point where they weren't really performing at the level that they were expected to. And there was a question, I think it was on one of the shows, that were like, if you were going to blow up Philly, would you choose Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid? And of course, now in retrospect, if you chose Ben Simmons, people look at you like an idiot, right? But hindsight is 2020. And me in the past, when I heard this for the first time, I would have picked Ben Simmons. Honestly, I would have picked Ben Simmons. I think because I overvalue passing, just him and his potential to be like LeBron, my GOAT. Of course, I'd pick him over Joel Embiid, who also had a huge injury history at that time. He's still getting injured. Maybe now not as much, and he's one of the best players right now, but he still had an injury history. So choosing Ben Simmons at that point really wasn't that egregious of a mistake as it is now. And just looking back and seeing that this scout made this report in March of 2016 and it completely flew under the radar and now it's just resurfacing. And man, those who know him best say he needs things to revolve around him on and off the court. You know how LeBron is like the system? Wherever you plug him into another team, he becomes a system. Like you have to run everything through him because he's just that good. He commands the respect of having everyone kind of morph their game to fit LeBron because he is the system. And I feel like Ben Simmons could be that. And maybe he kind of, when he was growing up, he was kind of forming his game a bit like LeBron, where he could be the facilitator, and everyone else around him could just, be the shooters or cut or whatever. But the thing that really hits me is revolve around him on and off the court. So everything has to revolve around him off the court, which means either he's, control freak or some kind of, maybe he feels like everything, he has to be in control of everything. He has to do everything himself, or it just might be a way of saying that everything has to go his way, And with that Atlanta series that reached 7 games in, I don't even know when, because he spent a couple months sitting out, so I'm not sure when exactly it was. It feels like a long time ago. But he was last season with Philly. He didn't dunk that ball. Game 7 of Atlanta, and they lost to Atlanta when they were like the first seed, right? And they were supposed to that was supposed to be their year. And they didn't make it, and everyone blamed Ben. And the public ridicule was incredible. It wasn't even, everyone makes fun of Russell Westbrook, but no one hates Westbrook, No one hates him because, he's funny, but he's still a good guy, sure. And I think it might just be the rabid Philly fan base. I'm sorry about all the dogs outside. I hope you can forgive me. But it might be the rabid Philly fan base that just, they trolled. They really trolled and made all these memes about Ben Simmons, but they really hated him, And I think that really changed how he was. He just couldn't perform with that amount of pressure on him. And he just couldn't do anything because he needed things to revolve around him off the court too. And if we only knew this, then maybe people in Philly could have understood just how much of a toll that would really take on him and his psyche and how he likes to bring himself. Because apparently this scout, I don't know how much time he spent with Ben Simmons, but he knew for a fact that it needed to go his way for it to all work out. And it's interesting. I was looking at his stats maybe from a couple of seasons ago. His rookie season, I think, might have been his best. 16 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Wow. 16, 8, and 8? That's crazy. As a rookie. And then it went on to be 16, 8, and 7, 16, 7, and 8, or whatever. It was pretty consistent. And then now in Brooklyn, just my favorite team, by the way. KD moved, so I guess I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. But, I really like Mikal Bridges, and I really like Cam Johnson. I like that little team they have there. They have so many shooters. We still got Yuta. We still got Patty Mills, Seth Curry, Joe Harris. Who am I missing? I'm missing some people. There's still a lot of shooters there, and I really like that team. But, if Ben was just the Ben from before, if he had that confidence to just steamroll to the basket, he is 6'10", 240. If he's able to just have that confidence to go in there and, possibly develop some kind of outside shooting so he's not just a one-trick pony, then surrounding him with the shooters that are in Brooklyn today, that could be a deadly team. And that's why I wanted to choose Ben Simmons over Joel Embiid way back when they were kind of floating that idea of having to choose one or the other. Because it's just kind of like LeBron. If you surround LeBron with shooters, I guess kind of like James Harden, kind of like Luka, you surround them with shooters that have a respectable outside game, so you can't just sag on every single screen, but they can also penetrate. They could also steamroll to the rim, and they could make a kick out pass. And shooters around the perimeter, the game was over. It might not have enough firepower to win championships, but it's a style, it's a system that's been done before, and a system that shows that it's capable of winning a lot of games. So I was really thinking that could be kind of the archetype of a team that you build around Ben Simmons, and maybe the situation he is in now with Brooklyn, if he's just able to, it might just be a confidence issue. I mean, look, I'm no basketball player. I'm making videos about basketball sometimes, and I haven't picked up a ball in years, I don't think. I'm not sure when the last time I picked up a ball was. I played with this mini hoop. Counts as a ball. I don't know. But if we're just thinking about this from a personal level, these guys are under so much scrutiny. And like us as fans, we're so quick to dismiss all of their problems because they're at the top of their craft. And because these people are paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to play this game that we enjoy playing just for fun. And they're doing it for a living. And they're able to make a lot of money out of it. And they're just not able to perform as expected. But all the scrutiny around these athletes, if I was him, it would practically be unbearable. I mean, I guess I'm more of a private guy. I don't really want people up in my business. But, man, I don't know if it's ever possible for him to go back to having the confidence that he did. Just because he just seems so broken down, like when he plays for Brooklyn, he's all right. He seems like he's okay with not as many minutes. He's not as aggressive. I mean, this guy in peak form score 16 points a game. Sure. He could probably average 10 assists or more, right? He could average 10 rebounds or more. This guy is a 7-footer practically. And it's just incredible because not only does he have the ability to facilitate an offense and really be the system, the anchor for this offense, but this guy could defend 1 through 5. I mean, literally 1 through 5. Trae Young, tiny. He could defend Trae Young all the way to a center. Capella. You could put him on Capella. Like, this guy has all the physical gifts aside from a maybe broken jumper, and maybe aside from him shooting with the wrong hand, but he has all the physical gifts to make him an absolute specimen of a basketball player, not the likes that we've never seen before. And that's why everyone gets so worked up about it, because he really could be incredible. He really could be great. And from this old scouting report, it could be that he's just his mental health, I guess, or just the way his head is set up, it's just not letting him reach that. And like Ben, I love him, man. I was like a big fan. I am a big fan, I guess you could say. There might be more for you, Now the spotlight is off Brooklyn. The spotlight is off of Brooklyn. No one really cares what they do. I mean, they're still going to make the playoffs because they made a pretty good cushion for themselves with that 18-2 run that they had when KD and Kyrie were still playing together. 18-2, and they just left that on the table. Bro, that hurts my feelings. But you guys can still make the playoffs, and, this is where diamonds are created, right? Under the pressure. So if you make a good run in the playoffs, I mean, if you just have a good series and you really show your value as a player, I think you could have a home in Brooklyn, and people might be really happy to have you there. But, man, it's just interesting to see. We could have really predicted all of this, huh? Anyway, where are my Brooklyn fans at? Where are my Ben Simmons fans at? I hope you guys aren't really too hard on him. He deserves a break. And he's getting one with All-Star weekend, the All-Star break in play at this moment. It's Monday for me, and we won't have basketball for the next few days. So thought I'd make a video, put it out there, so you guys can have some content until then. But But that's it for now. See you guys next time, and bye.